instructor profile over here, you define them as a profile and everything is going to be inherited. Let's say that I wish all of them to be 7 days and I want them to be twice, and I don't want instructor to approve, and I want you guys to view your mistakes by yourself, and I want you to have it as 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay, and it's not going to be a monitored environment. Whenever I save changes and I go to activate new assessment, any assessment I activate over here, guys, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, any of the assessments over here, they are going to be automatically by default. It took this part. If I go to advanced activation, I'm gonna see my default. Once I click activate now, it's going to be activated by the default I have just created. Am I clear?
Automatically every time you create it will go
to that one only, and it will take it. But if you don't set it instructor profile, it will take the system default, which is 1 hour, and the activation is for short time and all that thing. Okay, so I create my instructor profile and later on I activate using the instructor profile. Questions?
And once we complete it, we will make our own profile. Will that be, like that? When we make that profile, is that going to be under your supervision, or is going to be just the individual profile?
It's individual profile, and each time you create a class, you have to create a new profile.
Okay.
Okay, this one after you become an instructor.
That's fine.
Okay, now let's have a look at the gradebook. The gradebook is the place where you can print the certificates, you can request the certificate, you can mark the students' performance, the grades, and you can view the mistakes, the students' mistakes. How many, look, over here guys, the skill review exam, we don't do it for people who they come from good background like yours, but over here the students are going to be asked many questions, and this one will inspect their background, and when I took this exam, I scored below 50%, to be sincere with you, so it's not that important. So what do? My job as an instructor to define this place. I show you hints, I show you an example later on throughout the course, but in the end you are the one responsible for this. This one is the default.
Sure.
I never keep the default, which means 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus all these guys, they should get 100. So what do? I give for the skills, let's say 50% skills assessment. There will be final for the skill assessment. I will give you a printed paper and a task, and you'll do it for me. And the custom scores, this is a teach back. I will assign you a task where you are going to teach something. Okay, and let's say I assign it 20%. For example, over here I'm going to assign, let's say, each of them 2%. So I'm gonna make it in a way that all of them are going to be 100. I can assign even 1 because you are doing your assessments from home. Okay, and this one I'll give it 0. So in the end they should be 100. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Automatically, whenever the students they get all of their assessment done, it's going to be calculated according to that, and later on you can change it. Now, once the students finish all the requirements, you can mark him passed. I stands for incomplete. F stands for fail. Let's keep far away from this place, guys. P, it stands for passed. E stands for enrolled. You are by default enrolled.
Okay.
The roster, you don't need the roster for the time being, but the roster is the place where you can enroll your students in the class. So later on we will see how the first step we create the student account, the second step we enroll that student in his class. Okay, let's keep it for a different session on how to do that. If you don't have any question, I'm almost done today with my tooling, except for the help. So please go ahead and ask any question you have in mind. Next time we meet, I'm going to introduce new points, a new tooling method used over here. So I do have the yeah, the help is a great place. We have over here frequently asked questions that they can answer. They can answer anything you have in mind, besides Google, of course. Let's say like how to create a class. Simply you type in how to create class over here. This one I got to create wrong. Anyways, create class instructor level, create class student level. You click on it and shows you all details step by step, everything. Click here, log in over there and do this. But for any reason you get stuck, you have something called live chat. Once you submit the request, one of Cisco representative is going to answer you in few seconds. So my advice to you is to have your question already made on a Word pad, copy it and paste it over there, and they will do their best to help you. They're great guys.
Okay.
They are great guys, and they come in hand whenever you need them. But I always prefer for simple question to not waste their time and to go for the frequently asked questions.
Sure.
Questions so far?
I mean, this is very self-explanatory. So
Yeah.
you know, once we get to the hard bit, because this is just explaining how to do things.
Yeah, yeah. And it's great to know that they are over there. So by yourself, or if you expect your students to figure it out by themselves, they will take longer time in doing so. So it's always good to show them how to reach that place and how to access it. Okay, before starting at the beginning of each of the chapters, you have the teaching methodologies, the scenarios, and the topics they must be covered. Very helpful and handy tools. This is the introduction of ITE Essential PC hardware and software. The first thing we are introducing is the CompTIA A+ and the European Certification of Informatics Professionals. Okay, so as I told you earlier, they cover some topics like the personal computer, safe lab procedures, troubleshooting operating system, that they come with the standard of CompTIA A+. From Cisco we don't have only the IT Essential, as you know. We have CCNA, CCNP, CCIE, CCISP. So we do have great certifications. We have from the Microsoft MCSA, MCSE, the Network Plus, the Linux Plus. Okay, all of them they come. Even they have from Microsoft, they had in the past the A+ certificate that covers the CompTIA A+. Okay, this is an example of the CompTIA A+ certificate. When you come to my lab, to the campus, I'm going to show you an example of a sample certificate of the training we're doing over here. And this is the European standard of this model, but mainly people they're interested in the CompTIA A+, and especially in this part of the world. And these are the main topics that they're covered by these models. You see, all of them, they are the same topics. It's different vendors, they explain them differently. And Cisco, as I said earlier, is one of the best. So the first thing you start your training with is to describe a computer system. That computer consists of components. It's not a one piece, hardware and software and all these things that you are familiar with. And the first thing you are going to do, you are going to prepare a computer and open the case for them so you can explain about power supplies, for example. And the first thing that we're going to introduce is the case and power supplies. Here are the cases. Cases, they come in different sizes, and one of the standards is the ATX. It's almost by default when you go to the shop and ask him to purchase a case, he will give you an ATX. Okay, ATX comes after the naming, comes after the motherboard, which is the ATX, so you make sure that it's suitable, it has a room enough for your components. The case comes with the power supply. The average price of the case in Bar Dubai, you know, the source of computers, is 80 dirhams.
Yeah.
Is 80 dirhams. So 80 dirham,
Okay.
80. Let's have our sheet. Let's have a list of the components and their prices. Okay. So as I told you, it's always good to have an idea about the price, and I'm going to tentatively give you the price of each of the items. For example, the model type, the size, and as I said, the available space, the power supply, all these things you take to your consideration before buying any case. And nowadays we have fancy cases which they are made of glass, and there are LED lights in front of them, and you know, that's cool stuff. We have over here a power supply. This is an example of the power supply, and this is the power supply from inside. The power supply has components, and some of the components are the capacitors. Now power supply has different wires and different cables. The thing is from the power supply, you know, we all know that the power supply is responsible for converting the AC, which is AC, into DC. Whenever you convert it to DC, power supply does not convert, just like your mobile phone, into one voltage. It converts into different voltages, starting from 3.0, 3.3, 5, 12, because each component on the computer uses a different level of the voltage. Okay, so these colors are important to understand, are important to know. Each of the charts carried by each of the colors. Let's say for yellow it's plus 12, for blue it's minus 12, for orange plus 3.3. For example, all the components that they have motors and they spin, like the power supply, like the optical drives, the hard drives, they consume 12 volts. But CPU, most of CPUs, they go for 3.3 volts. Okay, this is why we have a different coloring code, and we do have a different connectors. For example, for the Molex connector, if we go to Google, okay, this is the image, the results for the Molex connector. This is called Molex. Okay, so this is the connector that connects what? It connects your it connects your optical drive and hard drive. Now we have the new version, which is SATA. Let's see, SATA. Okay, here is SATA, guys. So instead of the Molex,
yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, this is the new one. This is the connector, this is the new one, and this is the place where it gets connected to. Okay, so that's the SATA. So what is this connector? This connector is the one that connects, who can tell me, it connects what? Where have you seen it?